Finally, here at 6, tomorrow, January 22nd, is the 50th anniversary of a tragic day in Luzerne County.
12 miners died in an accident that it turns out was waiting to happen. Mike Stevens takes us back half a century, this time on the Pennsylvania Road.
It could be said the whole Knox mine disaster came down to a couple inches and a quirk in the weather.
It was a warm spell, a January thaw, and by the 22nd, when this all occurred, the water had risen to 20 feet above the low water mark.
William Hasty, a second-shift miner at Knox. A mine map shows a complicated web of tunnels and shafts below ground, under the Susquehanna River.
It wasn't a case of robbing pillars at that particular instance, but it was a case of taking coal, removing coal that shouldn't have been removed.
Bill is speaking of the roof over the miners' heads. That roof separated the men from the river. One report had it as thin as 19 inches when it should have been 25 to 50 feet. The roof caved in about 11:35 that morning, January 22nd, 1959.
I never thought I'd get out. Never.
Joe Stella was a surveyor working the first shift.
Where that water was coming down with such pressure, it was taking the mine cars and timbers, and the noise was so great that you couldn't hear yourself talk.
Bill and Steve Lukasik took some remarkable photos that day and days after. Here's Joe Stella coming out. He and a group of miners made it to an air shaft, made it out. 12 others did not. The Lukasik photos show the struggle needed to stop the water. They dumped in mine cars, and that didn't work. Next came gondolas, the cars you see on railroads. Finally, a cofferdam diverted the river. There's the hole. An estimated 10.37 billion gallons of water flowed through it. Frank Denna was involved in all that and actually went inside the Knox after the water went down.
We couldn't find the mine cars or anything, but we found a couple of the railroad cars.
That's Frank standing next to one. January 22nd, 1959, a day that saw 12 lives ended, the final chapter in the history of coal mining in Wyoming Valley written, all for a couple inches and a quirk in the weather. Mike Stevens, News Watch 16 on the Pennsylvania Road.
Even those still pictures of the river, it's amazing.
A fascinating story.
It really is.
The whirlpool.
Yep.
Wow.
And that was the end of deep mining.
That does it for News Watch 16 at 6 tonight.
Up next, World News with Charles Gibson.
For the team, thanks for joining.